What would happen if one of the biggest clubs in Saudi Arabia were to slowly go bankrupt in the most budget-heavy league in the world? Would winning the league even be possible despite being the title record holder? As for this season, we have to releasing a player above 40k, but that will drop down to 10k as the seasons go on. But we also don't just have to win the Saudi Pro League. But what about the Asian Continental Cup? Now for this season we are qualified, but what about the next seasons? Are we even going to qualify? Or what about what players would be willing to play for us at such low wages? Maybe youth academy players or free agents, but nevertheless still going to be a tough journey. So now here's this team after releasing all the players above 40k on wage. But we will actually promote a couple youth players since we really need that backup. And after promoting them, this is our squad. It's not really a strong squad since the youth players weren't going to really fix the squad up, but the tactics that we put can also help. As you know, tactics can make or break a team, and we don't want to gang impress since we don't have the quality in the midfield for that. But what we can do is go on the counter attack, as we have some fast players in the Brazilians in our team like Carlos Cesar and Marcos Leonardo. And after doing the whole setup, now it's our first game against Al Ahly in the Saudi Pro League. The Saudi Pro League is a title that we must win at some point in this save. And now we do actually end up conceding fairly early, and that's the game for us if we don't get any big chances. And that's a really bad start to our save, but that's not the only bad thing that happened during this game, as Carlos Cesar actually ended up getting injured and is out for 3 months. And now we can't keep on waiting for him as we got an Asian Continental Cup game, and this game is also crucial to us, and it's a 3-0 win, proving that there's still too much for these teams outside of Saudi Arabia. But now back to the Saudi Pro League, and Benzema actually scores a goal up against us in the 7th minute, and we are down very early once again. The Saudi Pro League is very tough. But it's not only Benzema who manages to score on us, as the other team that we face in the Saudi Pro League actually scores on us again early on. As he robs the ball up in the midfield, it's a nice goal. Nice finish, but not nice for us. One thing that we can get out of these games is our attack is very good, but our midfield and defense lack a lot of quality, and that's something we have to improve later on this season or next season. But now up against Al Qadash, and our team is getting absolutely mangled, as Guinea scores the first goal. Another early goal for us, as our midfield and defense are in shambles and we need better players in that area. But now, after a couple games, the league is looking like this and we're in 10th place, mid-table, bang average. But well, now we have to forget about the Saudi Pro League for a while, as a very important game is going to happen. And that's the game against Shanghai Port FC in the semi-finals in the Asian Continental Cup. And now we actually have to rotate our squad. And you know, Carlos Cesar is close to coming back onto the pitch, but not quite enough yet. And that's the team that we're heading out with, as we do have a 2-1 lead, but we want to extend that. And in the first minutes, we get the ball back. And you can see he spots his teammate making the run in. And then a nice cross, and oh, what a finish. What a good goal for us as we take the lead 3-1. But we wouldn't be able to celebrate for long as we conceded a penalty. Now he just had to slot this one in, and he slots it in. And it's 3-2. Now going into halftime, it was 3-2, and we still had the lead, a minor lead that is, but we just had to switch up the tactics as we couldn't give up another goal. And we wouldn't even be paying attention, as after going onto the pitch, they would score and they would make it 2-1 for themselves on this tie. 3-3 tie on aggregate, and it was starting to look like a really bad performance from us. And well, we had the right to be angry, as that goal was just an absolute banger, one that shouldn't have happened, one that Bono could have saved, but it was such a good strike that no one can save that. And now, that was the end of full time, so we had to go to penalties. And now, I believe that we have the best penalty takers in the Saudi Pro League, or at least we had at some point, and well, we slot it home, and it's 1-0 in the penalties. And now, can Bono save this, or is this a goal? And it's a goal, and it's 1-1. And now for the next penalty. Renan Lodi, one of the few Brazilians in the team now, and what a banger, that's an amazing pen. He absolutely fooled the keeper. And now this, we have to save this one, and no. It goes in off the crossbar, banger for penalty. But how about Gumarli? Will he chip it? And he does. It's an amazing shot. It's really looking like a very tight game right now. But how about this penalty? And well, Bono was so close to saving it, but it goes in just right past him. And this penalty we have to slot it in. And do we? Oh yes, what a great penalty that was. Now, for one of the final pens of the game. And he chips it, and well, Bono saves it. What an amazing save for us. Now, this guy can end it all, and we can go to the next round. The Academy graduate. Does he do it? And yes, he does. An amazing penalty, and we are through to the final. And we have all the right to celebrate as the Academy kid scores it for us. A player that we would have never thought could have made it to a final with us has done it, and he has done it for us. A player that we promoted due to a lack of squad depth has done it. A player that I really saw no chance of making it into a starting lineup has done it, and he's done it in a very convincing manner with an amazing penalty. But now, here's the tough part, as we are onto a final, and a final is always nice, but it depends on who we're going up against. As for us, we're going up against one of the toughest teams in Saudi Arabia as of now. And if you're wondering what team that is, well, it's Al Ittihad, the team with Benzema, the team that scored on us early on in the Saudi Pro League. It's not going to face us in the final, and we want revenge. But now, we need to go ahead and see who has been our best player so far. It could be Marcos Leonardo, but you can also make an argument for other players in the team that could have been great, like Al Hamedin, who has scored in his chance that he's gone and assisted a goal. Or you can make an argument for other players in the team, like, Mohamed Kano, who has been fairly good in the chances that he's gotten. And well, of course, you have to go look at Renan Lodi, who has been absolutely class in the chance that he's gotten, and he's one of the best players on the team as of now. And if we want to win this final, then Renan Lodi is going to have to start and actually lock up Benzema. And Bonu can also, get an argument, but he hasn't quite been the best. But I mean, we have shaky defense, so it's hard to be the best. And now we are facing Al Ittihad in a tough match week, as after him, we're going to have to play 3 more games in the month. So we're going to have to rotate the squad, especially during that final stretch of the month. And these have been the previous games that we've won. We're actually not in too much of a bad form, but we struggled to get the winning goal many times. And now the other months, we actually haven't quite been the best, as we've gotten 2 losses, and 2 losses have been permanently, objective for us, because it looks like in the previous 2 months of August and September it's happened, but now until a final. And Benzema is absolutely on fire for Al Ittihad. So it's going to be a scary final for us. But thankfully we do partially have Carlos Cesar backup, but he's not going to start because he's still slightly injured, so we're going to have to replace him from the bench today. But he's going to make his debut once again for the team, at least in this season. And now we are walking out the tunnel, and we really want this trophy, as it's one of the objectives are the same, as we have to win the league, the Asian Continental Cup, and really still, be good in the league, I guess. But now, the first chance that they get, we put it away with Diaby. Musa Diaby, and it's a goal. And we're 1-0 down in the opening minutes. It's not looking too good for us, but it's about to get even worse because Benzema, and he scores it. It's 2-0 for us near the 15th minute. And now we actually do end up scoring the chance that we get. And thankfully it's only 2-1 for us, as we really can still make the comeback. But making the comeback is going to be very difficult against Al Ittihad, as proven before. We are not quite at their level anymore. But this was a nice goal, as it shows that we can still be competitive despite being basically going bankrupt in the league. So if we keep this up, then maybe winning the league won't be never mind. And they have done it. Benzema 3-1. It's practically impossible to make the comeback now, against a miracle happens. Benzema bangs it in, and by halftime it's 3-1. Now, it hasn't necessarily been going good for us, but we get another bad injury in one of our other players. It's actually the other Brazilian, Renan Lodi, who has been amazing throughout the whole season. It's a really big loss for us in this game, and really for the rest of the season that we have to go on. There's still a long way for the Saudi Pro League season to end. And well, we do sub him off for a kid from the youth academy, and now we actually do end up getting a couple chances, but this chance turns into, the end of the match, and we lose 3-1, and it's a really big loss for us, as we get to see Al Ittihad lift the title, a title that we could have had, but unfortunately our team wasn't good enough anymore. Our individuals didn't show up, and they get to lift the trophy instead of us, and it's a really, really bad loss for us, as this was a great chance to win the trophy that could have helped us finish the objectives of the video. And now, we do get questions about Renan Lodi and how he's doing, but we really don't know yet, and if we could lose him, that would be a very, very bad thing for us, as we already have Carlos Cesar out. Despite him about to return, it's still really bad for us. So that's the end of the video, and I will be uploading the other parts soon, so stay tuned for those.